Three, two, one. Good morning. It's Luke Marshall here from lukemarshall.net, and it's been 2 weeks since the video and wanted to introduce another framework to help with comms. Currently, I'm speaking to a number of people at various levels. I'm talking to business owners and trying to help them. I'm trying to help my friends and connections around the job hunt. And I'm just trying to put stuff out there that's helpful. And one thing I've noticed in definitely this year is that the importance of communication has gone up. We need to be as clear as we can, as diligent as we can. And I thought I'd share another framework which centers around the three R's. And so you might be wondering what the 3R framework is. I'm going to share that with you, but I guess let's look at what getting a good response requires when we communicate something. Well, it could be argued that getting a good response requires diligence, persistence, and clarity. And they're all true, but it doesn't really fit within a tight and neat framework. So what I wanted to do, is acknowledge that that's a bit of a mouthful and just remind you of 3Ring it. So what do I mean by 3Ring it? R. Couldn't help myself. These 3Rs are communication techniques that are killer. They will service you no matter what job you are in. They are reflective of people who have their stuff together, and they're just superpowers. When people do all three of these in conjunction, it's very, very tight. I've worked in the advertising and marketing world for some time. To call one particular breed of person out that does this extremely well, account managers, particularly at creative agencies, sometimes they're colloquially known as suits, are excellent at these techniques. So I will share them with you now. So 3 communication techniques in conjunction that are killer: recapping, reminding, and reaching out. So I'll just add a bit of color to what each of those means. Recapping is basically you've just caught up with someone and you recap what you've covered off and send it to them as a follow-up. So, any sort of meeting or touch point or, interaction with a friend, you should be applying this one ruthlessly as it just looks super tight. So, an example, I might catch up with my friend Sam. We like to share a lot of book recommendations. And so a recap would be me just sending those book recommendations to him a bit later. We'll keep using that example as I go on the other ones. So reminding is just a polite nudge to get someone to do something, to move something forward. In the example I just mentioned, hey Sam, did you get around to those books or find any new ones? Love to chat. And that could be 1-2 weeks later. A reminder is super helpful as well. And then reaching out. So reaching out is, initiating a contact, and this could be applied in a variety of environments. With the Sam example, I'd reach out to contact him or set up a meeting again. Cold calling is reaching out. Reaching out might be initiating a new conversation with someone that you like their work. But putting all three of these, in conjunction together, really tightly, deploying it ruthlessly, there's another R, it's just really good work. So I'll give you a few examples to really bring it to life. So example, job hunt. So you found a job, you really like it, you want to reach out about a digital account manager position, and so you do. So you reach out to the recruiter, maybe you reach out to someone who has been in that role. There are many ways that you can deploy or reach out to sort of help elevate your likelihood of getting that job. Say you reach out to someone who is just a few years more senior and in that account manager role, and you're looking for advice. So you reach out to them, crickets. That's not uncommon. So you remind them of the note you've sent them and saying, hey, just popping this to the top of your inbox. Hey, just in case you missed it. Hey, we'd just love to pick your brain over a quick call. Cool. So you've already gone above and beyond compared to most people because you've given it an extra nudge. You've, instead of one contact and hoping for the best, you've increased your chances by giving it a second one. And yeah, it just demonstrates initiative. Okay, so we get the meeting with the person who's a few years more our senior. We pick their brain on what we need to do for the job hunt. You want to show your appreciation, so you recap what they shared with you and then promise to update them in a month's time. Now, the 3Rs as a framework, it's kind of like price of entry for being good. You can add extra R's to net a better result. So you might reach out to 3 people. You might remind each one twice, and you might recap every interaction with them. You can see how it gets exponentially better the more you apply the 3 R's. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I couldn't help myself again. This is an example in client service. Client service, I mentioned the good work that suits and account managers do all day, every day. You have a key meeting with a client, you recap your catch up. That is price of entry stuff. Then you reach out to the people that you need to do the work to move whatever the actions were from that meeting forward. Then you might remind the client of their responsibilities to help move it forward as well. You also might remind the people you reached out to, and if they haven't acknowledged your recap, you might remind them of the recap as well. Deploying those R's, at least 3, is really just tight cadence and comms that keeps up the rhythm without being annoying or anything like that. It's just tight. A sales call. So sales calls, for some of you, need to do from time to time to quote things and interact and get paid. So sales calls are a different form of the R's, but still very relevant. So you might reach out to your prospect for a call, and you got that call, or you might have to reach out multiple times. Then you'll recap what you shared with them, and I guess summing up the wisdom you shared, how you can help them, and everything else. And then say there's no response, you'd want to remind them of what they need. This might be lip service for salespeople. They should know this, but having that tight framework can be really helpful, particularly those of you who are new to sales. And with these examples, like it or not, when you're on a job hunt, you are selling. And if you're in client service, you're selling to the client, you know what you're doing. So don't be afraid of that word and just embrace the 3R framework. Look, it's an easy thing to remember. It just makes your comms tighter. A couple of things or builds on this that just stretch it a bit more. You want at least 3, so recap, remind, reach out, but more is better. As I sort of illustrated with the examples, just repeating some of them can be really helpful and just get that rhythm going and let people know you're on top of things. And what I've found, extra pro tip here, is that jumping between channels helps as well. So you might send a client a recap on email, but then you want to give them a call just to nudge it forward a little more. Don't be afraid to jump on SMS. A lot of busy people appreciate a text just to really bring something to their attention. You might want to drop a LinkedIn note. I've seen WhatsApp used depending on what market you're in, and you might want to jump on a video call or even record a video recapping what you've done, depending on the environment you're in and the complexity of what you're explaining. So that was a bit of a quicker video today. I'm really enjoying these. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in seeing more, just give me a follow with a personalized connection request on LinkedIn. I am working with clients on digital strategy and lead generation, so feel free to look at what I'm up to on lukemarshall.net, or just reach out to me in the usual channels. I'll pop this up on YouTube. I'll pop this up on my Facebook group and basically share it within my my network. So have a good day. It's Friday here in Melbourne. Good luck and stay out of the cold. Thank you.